Grenfell speaks to Ahmed Chellat. Ahmed, please tell us a bit about who you are and your involvement in the community.
Yeah, my name is Ahmed Chellat. I've been a community worker for almost 25 years. I've worked at the Moroccan Information Advice Centre for 17 years, and I'm involved in Grenfell through the loss of my brother-in-law, his wife, and 3 children. Mr. Abdulaziz al-Wahabi.
Yeah.
Until now, we've been missing because we couldn't find the bodies.
Can I just ask you how this all started for you?
Well, it started on the 14th of June. It's about 1:45. I was about to have my last supper for Ramadan, and I've heard fire brigade, ambulance, police sirens going around. And it was a sad thing anyway from the start. I looked at the window, saw them all driving fast toward clearing the road. So I thought, must be a bomb, something serious going on. And I didn't bother. So because of this the continuous noise of the sirens, I went through my bedroom, looking at the Grenfell Tower, and then by the time I got to the window, saw like red thing, fire on my glass, and I looked through and I saw Grenfell Tower on fire. Fire was from the 4th floor up to the 9th, in the left-hand side of the tower. So I looked at it and I went straight down to wake up my daughter, so she can call her aunt and she can call her uncle.
The ones that live in the tower?
The one lives in the tower, yeah, both of them, yeah. So I was screaming to get a telephone number. My oldest son, wake up from his room and jump. Put his trainer on. By the time my daughter picked up the phone and started ringing her aunt, pick up my grandson, we walk out. The whole time it was about between 5 to 6 minutes. Walk up through the outside balcony toward the Grenfell. The left-hand side was almost in fire. This is how the fire spread
very
quickly. I couldn't believe it. So I just freeze. And we rushed down, me and my son and my daughter, toward the Grenfell Tower, and she was trying to get hold of her aunt, which she did. And I think the 2nd or 3rd time, she answered the phone and said she's out. And we asked her about her husband and the 2 children. She said they're all safe, but her brother Abdulaziz is still in his building. So we got to her by the Methodist church.
Yeah.
And we were watching, and the police were coming then. So they moved us to the other side of Grenfell Road, where the swimming pool is, and then she rang her brother, and the phone was picked up by his wife. We were like 3 or 4 members of the family, we were talking, so I picked up the phone from them and I spoken to her. The first time I spoken to the wife, Uzia, she was that amazing how calm she was. And I said, what happened? I said, why didn't you come out? She said, they're not allowing us to, they're asking us to stay and they're coming to get us. And I said, where is your husband? She said, he's with the emergency people talking and they're coming to get us. And I said, are you safe? She said, yes, I'm very safe. And she was so calm and cool, and we were nervous. And from where we were, we can see Abdulaziz waving and talking because the light was still on in the right-hand side of her.
Can we ask you what floor that
was? It was the 21st floor.
Okay.
You can see that the light's still on in that side of the building, which is the right-hand side. So then, about timing it exactly, then about 10 minutes later, one of his sister's phone, and I said, can I talk to her? While she was talking, she passed me the phone, and I said, are you all right? She said, yes, I am. And only thing we got at the moment is the heat is coming up from the outside, and the smoke is coming from the main door, the house door. And I said, what did they say to you? They said, they asked us to cover it. And then as I was talking, she said, now they asked us to go to another room and lock ourselves in, and they're coming to get us. That was the last thing I've heard.
So you didn't hear anything
Then since then,
when they
no.
went into the other room?
When they went to the other room, she just mentioned that they're coming to get us, and they asked us to go to the other room, and that's the end of it. That's the last thing I've heard from it. And then a few minutes later, they pushed us out again from the side of the swimming, drove us down to Woolmer Road. The other side of Woolmer Road, which is where the rugby club is.
Yeah.
And then when the lights switch off completely and the fire start taking over, and then when we thought either they saved them or they still in there, nobody knew. That was the last thing we've heard from them.
Can we just ask you, Ahmed, how do you feel that the emergency services dealt with this situation on the night?
Well, let me. This is still confusing, and the only way we're gonna find out is through a public inquiry. But there was no adequate equipment to fight that huge fire because there were no proper ladders. They might suggest that there was 200 or over 200 fire members or fire crews, but the equipment were not there. I mean,
so they weren't prepared at that specific moment.
Well, from the professional side of it, we had a meeting with a debate on Channel 4 with one of the top-ranking officers in the fire, and she claimed clearly that because of the cuts, I mean, this is not political, but this is what she suggests.
Sure.
And that when Boris Johnson was a mayor of London, because the reason of this tragedy is the cuts that he made with the fire brigade, and she mentioned it clearly because they had to borrow, as she said, as she claimed, they had to borrow the ladders from Surrey Fire Brigade.
So they had to bring ladders all the way from Surrey because they didn't have the equipment to deal with that specific fire.
She admitted to us that in the whole London, the ladders they got is no more than the 4th or 5th floor.
And they had to bring ladders in from Surrey
to fight the fire. That's what she said. Yes.
And how long did that take for the ladders to come?
Well, that's a question should be asked by. I mean, they were like the one who was going to answer. It's not me or anybody.
Sure. So how do you feel, the authorities have dealt with the situation in terms of giving your family information about what's happened up until now? How have you dealt with this?
Let's concentrate on the first day. That was the saddest day ever because people were lost. People were wearing just pajamas. People don't know what's going on. People lost members of their families. But the negative side of it is the local authority or the so-called TMO or the so-called council. No one was there to speak or to help or to assist for a whole 48 hours, let's be frank about it. But from the positive side of it is the community. The community, it shows that the diversity of North Kensington, with the rich, the poor, the black, the yellow, the green, the Jew, the Christian, the Muslim, they all got together. And something which incredible to see. They're all helping, they're all confronting each other, but when it comes to the local authority, there was none, not even a sight of it, not a single sight of it.
So do you feel, leading on from that, do you feel that the local authorities, over 5 weeks on, have they done enough to help, to answer the community's questions?
No, community question has been answered yet. I mean, we're still hearing how sorry, every time that we attend a meeting, how sorry they are without any action. Nothing been solved. Within the community circles is rumors going on about this is what is going to happen, about what is going to happen, but in real terms, nothing happened. Giving you an example today, you and I attended a meeting two days ago about the bereaved.
Yeah.
And we took it from there. I had a phone call from an old friend of mine, lawyer, phoned me today and said there is a public inquiry taking place at the same place as Maxella where we had the meeting. And when I got there, I had the shock of my life. There were like judges, barristers, lawyers. Some of them are selling their business thing, and people from Essex, from Sussex, introducing each other, introducing themselves. And I said, what's going on? Where is the victims? Where is the bereaved? Where is the local people? And he said, who you are? I introduced myself as one of the local people and one of the bereaved, and they were, the only thing here is apologizing. We don't need that.
So just to clarify, Ahmed, are you talking about the inquiry questions that were held at Phoenix School, the one in Shepherd's Bush? Is this what we're talking about?
No idea, Faisal, no idea. Because this is the evidence to show that it's a chaos.
So there's no communication?
There is no communication between anyone who, what I discovered at the end, it was something organized by two mechanics. One's got a garage and one has got thing, and they organize these things. But there is no coordination or communication between other groups. Because at the moment there are, God knows how many groups, we don't know. And they're not communicating, they're not consulting each other. And this is for the benefit of the local authority and the central government.
So you think that there's a lot of confusion and it's something to do with disinformation? Do you think that the local authority and the government are just telling people information that's not useful to them?
No, that's not the case. Let me tell you the real case. The real case, it's North Kensington. Most of it, was a sleeping community.
Yeah.
Abiding citizens who are familiar. Some of them are talking about second or third generation, but they're still very conservative to their culture, their tradition.
Yeah.
This atrocity happened, and it's become a wake-up call. People are jumping up and down, not knowing what they're doing, not familiar with the system, not familiar how it's going to work. Is it going to? Are they going to achieve anything? And they, in the back of their mind, they think this can be solved between now and 5 weeks, 6 weeks, because they're not familiar with the system. There isn't much people come in and tell them how the system works, how the inquiry is going to be conducted, and how long it's going to take. And then if there is an inquest, how it's going to be conducted. And if there is any prosecutions, because the police are not giving nothing. So people are not familiar with this. So they think they can shout and scream overnight and it's going to be solved the next morning or the next day. This might take years, and probably we never find out how it happened and why it happened. I mean, personally speaking, I got two questions to ask. Why did it happen? And prevent it not to happen again. Someone along the line got to pay the price. But it might take years before we find out. Might be no prosecutions.
So do you feel that the people responsible for this atrocity should go to jail?
Well, where do you expect them to go if they don't go to jail? They should be punished for this. Because this is a murder in a broad daylight. This is a fire that took only 6 minutes to ignite the whole building. So somebody responsible, somebody got to come. At the moment, the police are keeping a low profile. Somebody got to come up with who is the culprit.
Can we just ask you another question, Ahmed? What do you think needs to happen in order for progress to occur?
Well, we have to educate people of how the system works to start with, because they don't have a clue about what's going on. And then let's get together, the victims, the bereaved, the community, under one umbrella, and fight the case under one umbrella, not 7 umbrellas or 8 umbrellas, because it's not in the benefit of the community or the bereaved or the victim. We've got to fight it under one voice if we are to succeed. Otherwise, it's going to die slowly, as they say. When it's happened, they die because Allah wants them. That's not on. We don't accept that. They shouldn't be dying. They should be no dead. There should be no fire. Whoever done it is got to be punished. and we want to punish them. That's how this works.
Okay, just a last question. Is there anything that you want to say? Anything that you want to tell the community about how we can come together in terms of to speak as one voice? What advice would you give to the community?
Easy. Listen, don't jump conclusion. Frequent the right sources for information. Don't pick up anything. Get proper legal advice. It's available. It's available for everybody. Don't go around. They are a group claiming that they're doing something and they're not doing nothing. Get together, listen. That's my advice, is to get the right information, get into the right path, and we will get to what we want. Because there are questions to be answered, and we have to work on them. And to work on them, we need professionals to lead us to this. This is new to us. So that's simple. This is what I'm asking for.
Ahmed Chellat, thank you very much for speaking to us.